And welcome everyone to the premiere of season 4, Riding Through the Unknown. I'm your host, Michael, and tonight's guest I am excited to have on, and we've been talking a lot about what's going to happen tonight, so you guys are in for a lot of fun, a lot of awakening. So, as they say, buckle up and enjoy the popcorn. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to my guest, the one, the only, extremely radiant.
Hello, I am Rita Minster, and I'm definitely extremely radiant, and I am smudging all of our wonderful space here. And before we get started, let's go ahead and create the space, okay? So let's get grounded. Let's take a conscious breath together. Ready? Breathe in divine love. Feet on the ground. Hold it. And then breathe out fear. Do it again. Breathe in divine love. Breathe in deep. Hold it. And breathe out time. We have all the time we need. This moment lasts forever. That's why it's sacred. There is no past. There is no future. This is the present. It's a gift. So allow yourself to relax and just be here now. Now, breathe in divine love. One more time. Hold it. This is a big one. And if you want to make a noise, you can. Breathe out worry. I worried quite a bit. I paid bills yesterday, so I got a little residual kicking in. All right, namaste, y'all. Namaste. I am Rita, and I'm extremely radiant. And I was a 5th grade teacher for 20 years. I wrote down a couple things to tell you who I am, but I want to start out with this. If you are down the rabbit hole as far as the galactic story and the alteration of our stories here on Earth, then if you're in the new Earth frequencies, there's a lot of things I'm going to say. I'm just going to cut to the chase. There is Adam, Eve, and Lilith, okay? And the archetype, it's kind of like the tarot. It's the archetype that matters. It's not whether or not these people actually existed. It is the archetype. And there was a time when the patriarchy created a division between women like me, very Lilith women that are bold and equal, feel equal to men from the time we were born, and just, that dragon energy. And then you've got Eve, who are more quiet, more of that I want to be kind of taken care of. And it brings out great things in men. And I think of my brother, my sister-in-law. They have that great, I'll take care of you, honey. And that's great. But you see, we split those two archetypes. We split the soul of women. We made sluts and virgins, and there's nothing in between. Well, if you start realizing that this is all just a story, Joseph Campbell talks about following your bliss. Well, as we start diving into the Akashic records and everything that's ever been known here on Earth, we start looking at how have we changed the relationship that we have with ourselves that keeps promoting the duality that I'm not enough and I need a man, or you're not enough and you need a woman, and we're not going to survive without it, right? Because it hasn't been that long. My grandmother and grandfather, 20 years apart, he said, I want 12 kids. And she goes, he meant it. 12 kids. So we're going to this place where we have relationships who we want one, and because we would like one. But then where does that leave men? Because they're supposed to be providing for us, but then we don't need provided. Well, then that puts us in that Lilith category. And then, then we are shunned. So there's a lot to unpack there, but I want to read you this. I heard this today. This is from Jesus. And he was talking about when he said, I and the Father are one. He almost got stoned. And then he said, but doesn't it say in your scriptures that you are all sons of God? And you all, and he basically said, well, you guys are all one with God too. and that kept him alive for a little longer. But he said this: do not seek anything outside yourself. The materialistic world will only bring you ruin, because there's nothing there. You will find pain, misery, and death. Search for the kingdom of heaven within. So that's very powerful. And it goes back to the dichotomy I was in forever. I knew I was supposed to love myself, but I wanted to be with boys and men, and I didn't want to be alone. And so I've been married 3 times. I've been in so many relationships, a lot. But there was this need underneath it, because I was afraid to grow old alone. I really was. It's ironic too, but because I've been alone now and haven't dated for like 3 years, and it's not scary at all. And my mom modeled what it's like to just live your life and not be in relationships. So I'm grateful for that. But the biggest thing is, and I'm gonna stand up and do this. Okay. Oh, let's get connected. Okay, ready? Feet on the ground, hand on your heart. I am grounded into Mother Gaia. I am connected to my spirit guides and my ancestors. And I'm divinely protected by my angels. And we're asking Archangel Michael, Gabriel, and Saint Germain to create this sacred tunnel, this sacred little cocoon, so that we can share unity consciousness, Christ consciousness, and the evolution that comes to us as we forgive and ask for forgiveness and humble ourselves to the point of realizing that we are one with the divine. Oof, yes. Oh, I got chills. All right. So some of the things that we have in here, we have an angel, obviously. And we have a couple that are like dancing. Isn't that sweet? Oh, gosh. And we have some selenite. We have some whimsy. And also some big dolphin energy coming in from Bimini. The wild dolphins there, which is right above Atlantis. And we're moving lots of energy. This is the color right now moving into the year of the horse. This is amber, constituted amber. And this is really good to put on your solar plexus or your heart chakra or any chakra to move energy. And because we're talking about love, we have a wonderful wand. And this, anything that's given to you as a gift is twice as powerful. This is my friend Rudy gave me this one. And of course we have selenite, but this is my sister gave me this one. So that makes it extra special. So, oh, and of course we have dragon energy, and let's not forget this. We're going to be making some wishes. So we brought some genie energy. You got to rub on the what is it? Genie in a bottle. And this is some beautiful fluorite. It's just from Mexico, that big cave in Mexico. So, and also, just to let you know, if anybody wants to pull a card, I will pull a card for anyone who wants one. Faye Temple Oracle deck, beautiful card. And this is our thought for the day. Ready? Oh, and I brought this along. This is my mom and dad, 1950. And they were getting married on the farm. There's a full moon. And the roosters were making noise in the background. So, isn't that neat? So, it's a whole different world. And, oh, they're both in heaven now. So, they worked their stuff out. All right, here we go. You ready? This is the world according to Mr. Rogers. Reverend Fred Rogers is in heaven right now. And here's some of his wisdom. You ready? So perfect. It always helps to have people we love beside us when we have to do difficult things in life. Wow. I just think that's so, isn't that profound? And we'll say it again. Isn't it always, it always helps to have people we love beside us when we have to do difficult things in life. Isn't that like the best reason to actually date? Boy, Match couldn't even give me that one. Let's not go there. Okay, I'm going to do something so everybody get grounded and have a little fun here. Stand up. If you haven't stand up, you can stand up and back up a little bit. This is by the way, this is Rita Forest mural. Manuel Cruz III painted it, and he lives in California, and he does murals for houses. So it's really good to embody your body a little bit, stretch. And Michael, I know you can't stand up, but you can put your hands up above you and pull and lean back a little bit. Oh, this is so good. And then bend down, and make sure when you go straight down, bend your knees as you do it, so you don't pull anything and try to touch the ground if you can. And then reach behind you. Oh, just stretch, 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 stretch. Allow the energy of the deep breathing that we're doing to get into your body. Now, one of the things that I want you to do is get into your body by feeling it. Okay, so one of the things that's really good to get you in your mood is skipping. Okay, so I'm gonna skip. I have to skip in place. And did you know that it's physically impossible to skip without smiling? It's impossible. It's impossible. And 20 years of fifth graders have never, ever beat it. So when you're picking your feet up, what I do is I go and I spend time with myself in music. And then I feel me. And I look at me. I've been a dancer my whole life. So for me, that's how I get into my body. But you can also get into a big tub of Epsom salt soaked water and float in that water and pull all your energy back to you. It's about pulling your energy back to you, right?
Right.
Woo. Okay, here we go. Woo. Okay, breathe in. And breathe out. Okay, so I wrote down all this stuff. If anybody wants to know, my background is a bunch of crap here. I've done everything. But I will say this about relationships. It wasn't until April 2023 I gave up my unconscious obsession with being with somebody. And it took dating somebody who had a drug problem. I didn't know about it. And he just kind of blew up and had an anxiety attack on day 10. And it forced me to just go underground for almost 3 years now. And I knew that I needed to do that, but I was never at a place to where I could. And it really came down to, I didn't feel safe. I didn't allow myself to feel safe alone. I didn't even know it wasn't even hot wired. It wasn't something that was even an option when I look back because of childhood trauma, right? So I was molested when I was a child. I was not actually, a lot of people are raped. I wasn't, but that experience changed the dynamic of the relationship with that relative, and it changed my whole life for 50 years. Because now suddenly I'm a black sheep, but I was a 10-year-old and somebody was trying to be sexual with me. That isn't me. But of course we take on, what did I do? Why are you not close to me anymore? Why am I not allowed in your life anymore? And it's taken me 50 years to go, oh, okay. It's all stemmed from that. And that I need to just, and I've already said, you can go with God. And I forgive him for what he did. I don't forgive him for treating me a certain way for 50 years. Long time. But again, are we judging ourselves? You see, okay, when I was in college, I got to tell the story short, promise. When I was in college, I read The Psychology of Male and Psychology of Female based on the archetypes of two stories. One of them was the woman who was Cupid, Eros. He got pricked by accident by one of his arrows and fell in love with the human, right? Well, he married her, but she couldn't see him during the day. Like, he would turn the lights off and they would just be together at night, and everything was going hunky-dory, of course. But then her sister said, hey, you're probably married to a demon because you've never seen him. He's probably a demon. And so she gets worried. And of course, there was an agreement with Athena that if it was 30 days and she didn't see him, and then they could stay together forever. And of course, some candle wax hit his shoulder, and he wakes up, and of course he's Cupid, so he's freaking gorgeous and the big wings, you know, and then he flies away forever. And so then she literally has to go to Haiti and do 3 tasks that she shouldn't be able to do. But of course, the fates and the gods, you know, help her out, and eventually they actually become back together. But it is the maiden falling in love and struggling with, am I a whore or am I a virgin? And where do I fall here? And if I am labeled a whore, it doesn't matter what kind of person I am in a society that I've been labeled that way. This is going to follow me. And I think Chelsea Handler is a really good example, and some of the other female comedians, to where they lean so far in to the smutty side because they got labeled that way. And I would say that's a trauma response more than a choice in comedy. And of course, isn't most of the things we're doing based on trauma? I mean, I think it's true. I think I'm almost 62 in March, and I think the more that I look at things, the more I realize that it's always that fight or flight that is fueling what we do with people. And if we could get to a place where we realize that, first of all, we're all one, and we're one with the divine heart. And I can't do anything for you, because you have your dreams and I have my dreams. So Neil Donald Walsh had a video on relationships way back in like the 90s. And it was about relationships. And he said, I want for you what you want for you. So let's say that Michael and I are dating. We're not. He's in Texas. But if I dated Michael and I came into his life and I said, you need to do X, Y, Z. And you need to be into my hobby, and you need to, and I start trying to get him to change somehow. That isn't love. That is just a laundry list of shit I want from a guy. But if I come in and I'm loving him unconditionally, he's got a life. I'm going to let him live his life. And I'm going to praise him like every good cheerleader does for whatever he's up to. And then when he decides that he's not going to go into fencing after all, and there's no money into it, and, you know, instead of he's going to be a English major, then, you know, I'm not going to step in the way of any of that, because those are his dreams. And if I step in the way, then I'm going to be the harpy that stayed in the way of his divine mission. So the only way to love from this point forward, and I truly believe this is the new earth. I believe that in my heart and soul, because I believe this last 5 years we are changing. The earth is changing. That sun's different. That super moon, man. And it shifts us into a new space. What is that space? Unity. It's consciousness that we're all one, that Jesus has always been with us. That's why we could never find God, because we were already in. So as we start healing and pulling off the Band-Aids of these broken hearts that we've had, we start realizing that everybody else was in a bunker too. And that everybody is not wounded, and not everybody's out there to hurt you. It's just that you were attracting what you chose to enlighten you. So how's that one? Now, I know, I'll say this really quick, because I sense that somebody who's been horribly abused as a child, especially sexually abused, do not feel like that that's something they chose. And I understand that. However, I will say on a spiritual level, if you do not own everything that happens to you in your life, you are not going to get off the cross. And you got to get off the cross, because we need the wood. Okay, it's a tough winter up east. But seriously, if you are in a place of I'm a victim of my childhood, then you're a victim of your life. If you're a victim of this day of the people in charge, then, well, what the hell are you doing, man? Like, if you have a roof over your head, you had something to eat, you have maybe a job or an income, and you're surviving, then you are your own ship. And there's no they out there. That means that you are, I invented you and you're in my dream. And then sometimes I'll be in your dream, and maybe you're going to be like just a background character in my dream. Like I'm going to go to Cabo San Lucas or something, and you're going to be walking down the beach, and suddenly in that moment, you're a background person, but only because you've got your own dream going, and I got next to my dream or whatever. And so we start realizing that if we're making it all up, like Landmark Education talks about a lot, if we made it all up, then can we take out the shit we didn't like and put in the stuff we do like? Can we look at the trauma that we suffered as growing pains into the oneness that we can live now? And did you ever think that there would be a time when we could have this conversation? And people took us seriously, and there's freaking aliens and Palladians, and they communicate to us in light language, I haven't even done light language yet. I will do it, I will. But I do want to open up to questions, because I want everyone to understand that it begins and ends in self-love. It begins and ends in this vessel. It begins and ends in you being okay with whatever it is you think is not okay with you. And until you get to the space to where you can be truly alone with yourself, and it doesn't mean you have to leave whoever you're dating. It's just that carve some time out to be alone. Look in the mirror. Can you look in the mirror? Can you look in the mirror and go, there she is. There's a guy that got rich on like Facebook or YouTube, and he's a black man, and he goes, hey, baby girl. And he runs there, you're like, and that's exactly what he does. He comes up. Oh, and I lost my, I think this isn't charged. Is there a problem with the speaker?
No, we can still hear you.
Good. I'm taking this thing off. All right, good. So anyway, yeah, it's like there's no way out there, and everything that I'm creating myself. Wow. Let's move it around. By the way, I'm Gen X. Can you tell? I love Michael because he's a millennial. Every Gen X should get a millennial when they become a content creator. Do stuff. Well, he can testify. I got on here. I'm so irritated because I had to download the app, and I'm like, just like yelling at it. You spend all day telling people you're not a robot.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's get into it. What do people want to know? I'd love to hear some questions. Michael, do you have any questions?
One question I have is dealing with the inner child and healing the inner child. It is not something that always is right there in your face saying, this is what I need to heal. So what are some signs that people can look for that will point them in the direction of, yes, this is what the inner child's needing?
The biggest one is passion. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to say, we'll open up our chakras at the end. We'll do a little exercise, but you need to get passionate about something. So let's say that you like painting those art doodle things with the markers, and you just like doodle art. That's like the thing you like to do. Okay, then doodle art. Go do that. Do you like to journal? Do you like to dance? Do you like to go feed the ducks? What do you like to do? And I don't mean like it. I mean passionate about it. And I don't mean being the best. I'm not the best dancer. Oh my God, there's so many people who have passed me in expertise. But that doesn't mean that I don't dance every day. If you're a writer, you write every day. If you're a dancer, you dance every day. If you're a singer, you sing every day. It doesn't matter if you're getting paid for it. So if you can find what you're passionate about and then do that, and do it as much as you can. And I was lucky enough to be able to retire from teaching early. And okay, I will tell you this. Michael and everybody here, be gentle with your healing, because I thought I was going to move to Sedona, start working with clients, bada boom, bada bing, everything was going to be great, right? But it didn't work that way. I tamed a half-acre property here in Cottonwood, and alone, and I grieved my mom, and I cut all my hair off, and I went through my own dark night of salt more than once, and I healed my trauma. Now, did I mean to go offline and live on a pittance of my pension? No, I'm not even that old, right? But I had to. I had to heal. I had to go inside. I spend so much time outside. Okay, before I forget, I'm going to give you a couple of really good things. Number one, this is number one. Everyone write this down. Do not take your phone or any device or a television into your bedroom. Take it out if it's in there. And if it's in there, unplug it and put a towel over it. Do not have technology in your bedroom. Your bedroom is a sacred space. The only thing you should be doing is sleeping deep and plugging back into the mothership, or making love to someone who you love. And that should be the only two things that happen in that sacred space. That room back there in that tree is so sacred that when my dogs get in there, and me, it's like a sleeping pill. You sit down, it's like it's just asleep, because that's all that happens there. But if you take in this device, you have now opened your consciousness, your sacred vessel, into your oneness, into your higher self. When you go to sleep, you are like this with your higher self. You go back to heaven, you go back to all whatever it is you want to perceive that is there, and you talk to all your spirit guides, everybody's there, and you tap in. And I have actually had memories of being on like a med bed, and they're around you and they're talking to you, and it's just like being at the doctor, only they're scanning and moving energy. And it's nothing different than me grabbing this thing of amber and rubbing it against some area and getting the energy moving. It's not any different. But that's just what it is. So when you start realizing how sacred sleep is, why in the world would you let the Matrix in your room? Did you read 1984? Where there's a screen everywhere, and then when they thought they were on the screen, haven't you wondered why you go into restaurants in the last 20 years and there's not one? I mean, I went into a restaurant, they had little mini TVs at the table. Like, what? And giant ones hanging everywhere. I hate it. I won't go to, I try to avoid every place that has a TV. But it's hard now because they are plugging it in, just like George Orwell said they would. So you're all staring at, why? Why do you think they have a TV in a freaking cafe or whatever? What do you think? I'd love to hear what you think.
Because the television is programming people, and so they're helping program the people and keep them programmed.
So when you go out, so let's say you're sitting at home and like the neighbors upstairs, they have a TV as big as the wall. It's on all night and it glows, it's got its own little thing going. And you're connecting. And by the way, television and this media is benign. There is not good or evil on the media itself. The World Wide Web is not evil, but it's just kind of like a television line. If I called you on the telephone and there was a telephone cord, the cord itself isn't good or bad. There is no good or evil, but that's beside the point. But when we start digging into what's really real, you have to disconnect from the matrix more. So I was a teacher for 20 years. What's the first thing I did to bring a kid from second grade reading level to fifth grade reading level? I got him off video games from Monday night to Friday night and limited his TV time. And literally, boom, all of a sudden they know how to read, everything's great, and then they are, get interested in books. We have to pull ourselves away. I have all little tricks that I do myself because I'm playing a game. How much can Big Brother not see me today? How much can I not be on a video, right? So I put it on airplane mode just to piss off the matrix all the time. And it's just fun. And I can charge my phone back. I'll put it back on, and I'm a content creator. So I probably shouldn't be, tapping out so much, but I turn it off when I go to bed and I do not hit that button because I have it on airplane mode if it's in there, and usually I'm using like an alarm or something. It didn't come back on sometimes several hours after I wake up, because you see, I train myself. There's no emergency that's more important than my sleep. All my relatives are in heaven right now, and my sister's fine. So it's like, I'm not going to be fooled. Here's it. Why do we have to have a credit card? Something could happen. Why do you have to be on the TV? Because the television's telling you something, and then when you see it out, you go, oh, see, look, we were supposed to be watching, because they told us before we had to watch all the time. Look, here we are and we're watching. They said the same thing, and they all just connect into the Borg. It's all that big Borg. I'm a marketing major, and they told us in the 80s, well, they used to tell the truth. They told us in the 80s that how they were using NLP to do stuff. And that was right about the time that Europe started saying, well, screw you. We don't want to do that to our people. They're not that stupid. And so, but we plunged forward. And so now we have this reality that people cannot unplug from a little device. That's madness right there. That's madness. This is a device. Okay, this right here, it's a phone. And it's got some AI in it. I get it, but it does not have a soul. You can't, it doesn't allow you to breathe and be outside of time. You see what I'm saying? So, okay, let's say that I go and I'm just scrolling. I go and I look at a few videos. That takes time for me, and I look at and 20 minutes have gone, and I could have been outside feeding the birds, sitting in the sun, petting my dogs. I could have done something else for that 20 minutes, but I didn't know it was 20 minutes. I thought it was 5. You see? So as we realize we're being NLP, you got to get mad like I am as a marketing major. You're not going to sell me. I mean, I got so bad in my 30s and 40s, I'd get an anxiety attack when I walked in the wall. And I only went for bras and underwear anyway. I buy everything else from resale shops. I don't, unless I'm on vacation. But the thing is you invest in what you're passionate about. Fly your freak flag. Find out what you love to do. And let me tell you something, because I was a teacher, and I was the union rep, and I did everything like for my job. But when I stopped teaching was when I stopped people pleasing. And I worked with a lady who started a cult, Linda Good McGillis. But I did a session with her before she started the cult. But she looked me in the eye, like, just like we were talking. And it's like, she looked me in the eye and she said, and I said, something about not good enough or people pleasing. And she said, well, why do you do that when you know you're good enough? And I felt like, I used to say my childhood trauma was like the Grand Canyon. And if I ever experienced it, I would never come out. Like Thelma and Louise, I thought I was just going to go off in the sunset and never come out of it. Well, she forced me to look at it, and I cried for 2 days. And it was my childhood trauma when I got bullied and stuff. It wasn't a molestation. But I never let myself get mad. And here I was in June 2021 getting mad at my mom for letting me get bullied by all these people, and nobody did anything. And my mom had just had a stroke, and she was 92. So talk about bad timing. But I allowed myself to feel that. And I finally got to let it go. And then I started to unpack the fact that had fueled every relationship that I've ever had was based on trying to feel secure, based on trying to get my dad's approval and love after I got older and grown up, and my brother, And so when you start realizing that the trauma is what separated you, then there isn't anything to do but to feel it. Okay, everybody's gone to shrinks. Everybody's gone and done all the really complicated. You don't need to do that, okay? You don't. You want a journal? Go get a journal, whatever. But that's what you don't need to do. What you need to do is get into your body. Get into this body. Feel what's going on in this body. Move it. Dance. Touch it. Get into an Epsom salt soak and feel your body all over and look at it. love it. And if you don't love what your body looks like, love the fact that you got it there based on trauma, based on you did something to pack on something to make you safer. Can you love that? Can you love the armor that you put on so a man wouldn't touch you anymore because you got molested as a child? Can you do that? Because if we make ourselves wrong, then we're trying to fix ourselves so we can go find that person. You have to just stop with you and realize, first of all, I'm never going to be fully healed, and that'll never happen. It's an onion. But I will tell you this: you will land in the space that Jesus or Yahshua or Buddha will reach out to you. I worked with Sally Love, and I burned all my unworthiness under the full moon. And I worked with her, and she's a psychic that sees. I'm a blind psychic. I just hear it all in my head. But Jesus was there, Archangel Michael and Gabriel, I think it was like that. And I'm going to cry probably. Jesus watched my feet, and I could feel it. And you want to talk about crying? It is the kind of cry. It's that ugly cry. It's just, and then you let go of, I'm not worthy. How are you not worthy? Jesus washed my feet. And so since then, I heal in Jesus's name. And I had a dear friend, and I love her to death, Marilyn Channel's Adirondack Council. One of the things she told me when I'm a holographic healer for many years. And I do this because I'm Catholic. And she said, you may not do that. And I'm like, that's hot wired into my connection, into my experience of the divine. And if somebody has a tough time with that, they're going to have a tough time with me, because then, what if I channel Yahshua? It's going to get even weirder if I start speaking light language. So as we start expanding into our higher self on the plane of Earth, which is what's happening now, our DNA is being activated. The dragons have been loose. All of the protective grid crap around the Earth, well, you know all this, is being removed or has been removed. This is the age of Aquarius. And the question is can you be this person or this person? Can you be there for somebody? And do you want to be there for somebody? Because sometimes all we need to do is just self-heal, and maybe we're never going to be in a relationship. I don't know. But there is a divine masculine and divine feminine within each of us that has to heal in order us to move into our divine mission in earnest. And everybody's still on their divine mission. I don't care if you do an entire life and at the end you go, oh, and then it's over. You chose that life, and there's no mistakes. And so anyway, let's open up some questions. Come on, let's go. Let's party, dude. We need to dance. We need to.
How does the holographic healing work?
Oh, it's easy. Holographic healing is the same thing as Reiki. It's just that it's just like anything. You have to have the faith. So remember last time that we worked, you can feel my energy. I can feel your energy. Well, we are connected. When two or more are gathered in my name, the spirit is there, source, God, whatever you call it. So if I'm connected to you and my spirit guides and your spirit guides are all talking together, okay? So the healing is happening whenever we connect in this fashion. So as we have this little cocoon we have right now, our spirit guides have basically gotten together, and they're talking in the lunchroom. And they're discussing ways to move us into our highest timeline. And so to go back to what you can do for your wounded inner child, get physical, stop thinking, okay? A child does not sit around and go, when I was 3, I think that was traumatic. No, a child goes to play. You want to play? You want to play, Michael? You want to play? Hey, Michael.
I love playing.
You want to play? What do you want to play? What do you want to play?
I like playing cards, playing outside.
There you go. Cool. Have you ever done this one? You ever did it? Okay, yeah, you have to go. Okay, ready? Need to get saved. Green light, ready?
Oh yeah, green light, red light. You walked 2 steps over the red light.
I did not. I did not. I did not cheat. You didn't say quick enough. So the thing is how easy is it to play? Well, I don't know. How easy can you get off yourself? How easy can you get over the fact you're a grown up? Whoever said you were, anyway. I will insert that you're more your inner child than you think you are, because you walk around with this armor on. I'm a grown up. I'm grown up. I'm adulting. That's just bullshit. We're all walking around 5-year-olds wanting people to love us. That's it. We really are. We're walking around, like Snoopy walking around Peanuts. Me, and that's what we want. We want to be loved, and we want to be loved. Why? Because we are loved. But how do we get to that inner child? You don't have to wade through all the crap that happened to that inner child. You can go to the inner child before that happens. And as you start to feel what happened, feel it in your physicalness, go take an Epsom salts bath, burn some sage, do some writing, do some crying, but you can move that trauma out of your body. And I want to say this especially for women, you are not your trauma. You are not what happened to you and what other people did to you. You're not. You are a divine goddess, and that's why they wanted to keep your fire from flaming up and taking over the patriarchy. If you are listening to this, then you already know that you have a divine mission. And the question is, well, then what the fuck is it? Do you want to know? Are you really want to know? Because maybe you're going to have to wade through the fact that a bunch of kids, when you went to that new school, chased you home with pine cones and tried to kill you for 1.5 years. That's happened. And I had to feel it. And then I had to cry it out. And then I can go to an Arizona cafe and come back with trauma. Because people can be so cold here. And it's in the past, I had such armor that I couldn't feel the things that could keep me from being hurt. You see what I'm saying? So now, Michael, what I do is I protect my little girl. And there was a neighbor the other day that started talking smut when I was just having a normal conversation. And I went off on him. I mean, my dragon came out, my mama bear came out, and I just went off on him, because you will not drag this young lady, this little girl, into any conversation that isn't safe for her. Because you see, my adult is keeping her safe, but you see, my adult's in the background, because my adult had to run shit for up to 57. I worked from 10.5 to 57, and now I'm in the background. And I had a near-death experience 4 years ago, so that does speed things up. I will mention that. But when you sit down and think about it, you, me, there's nothing different between us. But you walked a path, I walked a path, and then we met in the middle. And we're bringing information about a new way of living. Think about that. Isn't that? I mean, it's mind-blowing to me. It is. So anyway, okay. Question. Let's get some questions. Come on.
No, it is very cool. And I love the synchronicities, how they happen and energy just brings about. And on this show, I've talked about my near-death experiences, and I've had guests about them. And so I would offer, if you are open to, could you share what your experience was like? Because everyone's is different.
Sure. I'll give you the Cliff Notes version, because I don't want to go on and on. But I was very sick at 19. I had Candida albicans, and they put me in a mental ward, and they gave me Navine, Thorazine, Cogentin, and a bunch of drugs. And at one point, I attacked a nurse. She was messing with the patients, and I went after her. And I was in Taekwondo at the time, so I was pretty fucking tough. And I had red whelps all over my body. I had hypoglycemia, food allergies. My immune system had just dropped. And they put me in a straitjacket and put me in a padded room. strapped to a table in a straitjacket. Sorry. Oh gosh, I hadn't felt that in a while. Oh my God. And by the way, I will not wear a turtleneck or anything tight. And if something gets on me like a sweater, I'll have a freaking panic attack. I'm like, get it off. And that's definitely a trauma response from that. So I laid there and I died. And I remember the pain stopping because my body was ravaged with pain. And I didn't have any pain. And I flew up to the corner of the room, and there were people in white robes. So they didn't have wings, but they just were in white robes. I know one of them was Jesus, and the other ones, I guess, were my spirit guides. So two men and a woman, and we just flew around out. I knew them, and we flew around outside the window, and it was so wonderful because I didn't have any pain. It was so love, and there was love, and I knew him, of course, and like I was just like, yeah, nirvana. And then it wasn't very long because I'm sure it wasn't dead that long, but because they came to check on me and they were shaking me, and I was up in the corner with, I think it was Jesus, or my heart said it was probably Jesus, and so we're looking down, and they're trying to wake me up, and I said, oh no, no, I'm not. No, I wasn't. No, I was not going to go back. And he said, it's not your time yet. And all I said was maybe. I don't know that I said yes. But the moment that I said maybe, I was back in my body and I was in a lot of pain and I couldn't itch and I itched all over it. And I had a panic attack the moment I woke up while I was sick. And they did take me out of the straitjacket because I was so sick finally, but it was a long road back. And I forgot that. Like, it's amazing to me that I forgot that because you're 19 and you're trying to get your health back and go to college and figure out who the fuck you are. Right? Well, then in 2021, I got, I went to Miami for $300. I won't say who, but there was some content creators and they did this party for $300. And I'd already had a bad experience with them on a Zoom thing, and I'd spent some money with their little organization, and they'd already kind of got after me online. Well, when we went to this thing, it was a really bad event. And the next day, the hotel they recommended, I got a pizza, and I got the mozzarella was not cooked enough, and I got chronic food poisoning. And I was, for 5 days, I thought it was the flu. And then when I got medicine, I got sicker and I almost died. And I didn't leave my body then. But what happened was my egoic mind shut off completely. Oh, it was so great. It was so great. So I'm laying in bed and my mother was on hospice. She was actually dying of cancer. And my sister was helping her and I'm her caregiver, but here I'm lying there and I made, and I felt like I made a mistake going away for the weekend for, winter solstice and now I'm dying and, I felt guilty and they were walking past me and I went, see, you're supposed to be doing that. And I heard that voice and my higher self said, hey, shut up. Don't you say another word. And that voice just went, it was gone. It was gone. And I was like an animal. When I woke up, it was like, you need to go to the bathroom. Okay, so go to the bathroom. You need to eat something. Okay. You probably need to go to the hot tub for your pain. Okay. You better lay down again. And it just gave me, I felt like I knew what it was like to be like an elephant. Like just think about that next moment, like that, like a bird, like, oh, I need water. Oh, I need this, that's all I had for about 2 weeks. And when it came back, when it came back, it is the politest little bitch you ever met. It is so much nicer than it was. It doesn't talk about my wrinkles. It doesn't like look for flaws, and it doesn't ever hijack me like it did because I know it's not me anymore. Now I know it's just this bullshit of the Matrix, and so I don't believe it anymore. But trust me, if I get into worry or fear, my egoic mind takes over just as fast as anybody else. So I'm not a saint, but So from that point on, I'm a light language activator. I've worked with Deb Clark in light language activation or light language awakening community. And I worked with the Adirondack Council, Marilyn Harper, for over 3 years with holographic healing. Oh, and you asked about that. Holographic healing is nothing more than what we did with energy, only it's intentional. So I'm visualizing inside your body, and those things are actually happening. We get confirmation. It's amazing to do a group of women and work on someone with, back problems, all this. And by the way, I'm certified, meaning I worked with my friend Rudy once on his shoulder. Talk about crazy. I had just gotten over about dying. Mom was dying, and it was time for my exam. And I went, anybody on Facebook need some healing? And Rudy said he had a bad shoulder. I did it, and I'm supposed to have done 60 practices. For free. I didn't do any. I was a caregiver. And I fucking aced it. It was awesome. So this is my experience. I love everybody I've ever worked with. But you have to get over the heartbreak in the love and light community that as you become a starseed light worker, as you start remembering your past lives and remembering and having all these powers, one, you're not special because we all have it. And two, you have to create special boundaries around you. So that, because I experience things so intensely now that I will not let myself be in a position where I'm going to be harmed anymore, because my inner child wants to party. I want to have fun, man. I listen to Bob Marley, man. Like, we have fun. And I want to live in that space of fun, in that Mr. Rogers neighborhood, because that's my reality. Now, it's not your reality. Okay, well, then join me. Go ahead and, grab something. Let's, get a maraca. Let's dance around the kitchen table. Like, it doesn't matter. All it matters is that you are walking forward in your dream of this reality. And the only thing that's real is this divine mission that you made up, and you're supposed to remember it. That's it. That's it. And you can't do it wrong. There's no way you can. And people get upset when you say, like, Hitler went to heaven. First of all, there's no hell. So where else is he going to go? And nobody is thrown away. Nobody's garbage. Okay. Married 3 times. You want to talk a bit bitter? Married 3 times, found the love of my life in Tantra. Douglas everybody had a crush on him. Good looking, had this big chest. His chest was bigger than the rest of him. Tall, good looking. He led men's, retreats, and he was the bomb. Well, after 2 years in our relationship, he took his life, and he left me in charge of his estate and his ex-wife and his 12-year-old child, and plummeted me into grief. I drank wine every night for 6 months, and I'm not an alcoholic, although I've been in it like 8 years of my life. That sent me on the path of ecstatic dance and sound healing, because they had to save my soul, because I almost lost my happiness. And Douglas was a wonderful person, but he did not go back to he had diagnosed depression, and he got off medication, and he got out of shape, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And he planned it for a long time, which makes it even worse. So once that happened, it changed my entire experience, because I never even, what dark night of the soul. I'd lived in 3 states. I'd had 3 ex-husbands, 3 stepkids. What? I could live through anything, right? But this kicked me hard, and it changed me. But it also I became a healer then, because once you get done healing, you go, hey, over here. You can do this too. So, yeah, okay, let's do some questions.
So, one question I have, I'm curious if you ever thought about, is if your 2 near-death experiences opened you up and prepared you for the light language and to do what you're doing.
Well, you know what? Yes and no, because I think anyone could be activated, because I was in a group of women, they all got activated for light language. So I think, and I'll say this over and over again, keep it simple, stupid. The only thing stopping you from being a psychic or sound or automatic writing or light languages is trauma. You haven't healed enough trauma to open up all your chakras. And I'll say this, I'll stand up for it. Most spiritual people have this, your creative center and your root chakra is blocked because they just shut that off so they don't get any excitement. And another thing that I'll say that's really maybe controversial is you need to be touching yourself. Now, I'm not talking like being obsessed, like men sometimes get obsessed where they're always masturbating. That's an obsession. I'm saying you need to touch your body and move that energy. And for a woman like me, like I could go several months, and if I don't move that energy, it actually physically hurts. Isn't that weird? Because there's so much power to it that if you feel like you're going to blow up. So you need to move that energy out because it's getting blocked. It's like Drano. You've got all this energy in your lower chakras, and then you sit on the couch and you go, I don't feel passionate about shit. Well, of course you don't, because you don't have any energy going through those lower chakras that are getting you on fire. You should have a Roger Rabbit in your creative center going, wow, let's go do something. You should have somebody, some part of you that's fucking crazy, that wants to go and, bungee jump. There's a part of you that is that inner child that is not in any way wounded. And as you start being more passionate, then those wounds will come up, but you can heal them to feel them and let them go. You don't have to. That's one of my big complaints about the Love and Light community. They're like, oh, you have to take this course and you have to do this. And you have to. No, you don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is work with one other soul that is aware of unity consciousness, and you can talk through the energy that's in your body and move it. That's it. It's not that. That's what I am frustrated about, and why I'm not a part of the Sedona community. I'm 15 miles from Sedona. I do know some people. I know some really 3 trees originally from there. I know lots of people in the Love and Light community, but they're all in California. And so I don't do as much in Sedona. I call it Vortex Vegas. Everything's for sale, but very few people are actually plugged into anything that's not that's truly connected. I'm not finding the words. I better shut up.
No, they're there, but they're not connected.
They're selling something. And I will say this, one of the reasons I've gotten in trouble financially is I went into teaching for 20 years. I was in sales and marketing. I did wholesale computer components in Dallas. I've been in sales my whole life. But when I became a teacher at 36 on 9/11, for 20 years, all I had to do was collaborate and get good ideas and get other good ideas. And sure, there was some competition and bullshit in teaching too, but it was different. And I didn't have to go and ask for money. Now, granted, I went and asked for money for science camp, for fundraisers, but I didn't have to ask money for me. And one of the things that's hard for me is to say, hey, you need to send me $44. Because if somebody's hurting, I'm just going to do it for free. And I've done that my entire life. And I have to get out of that because, well, I'm broken. I need an income. Come on, guys. It's like I have to be able to get over that. And I realized that I was like, oh, I just don't want to sell myself. I just don't. And let me tell you something about my channel. Extremely Radiant, Rita Minster, aka Extremely Radiant. Any of the videos you see on there is no commercials. I am not on there. It's starting at the beginning. Let's take a moment so you can like and subscribe so you can get more content. Don't talk to me like that. Don't. And then they interrupt a channel message to tell me about some freaking video you're selling. Listen, I don't need to teach. I don't need to heal, but I am so passionate about it because God loves me so much. And I'm just seething with the energy of the Holy Spirit that wants us to live in Eden right fucking now. And that's the message. And if I do that message, that's all I got to do. God didn't say that I had to do all that self-grandiosity shit because I'm a teacher. I don't need that. Okay. I got plenty of kids who gave me little things every year and parents, and I had 20 years of kudos and pats on the back. I don't need any of that. What I want is to people to step into their greatness, to step into your own personal power. Stop walking away from what you truly are. And by the way, I mentioned this, Michael, but I do need to mention it. This right here, imagine 2 or 3 balloons. Most humans walk around with a little balloon. This is your soul. Your soul's up here and you disassociate. And when something else happens, there's another balloon. So a lot of times you're not even in your body. And that's why dancing is really important, or moving. You don't have to dance. You can stand. You can just move. Get in your body. Touch yourself. Are you here? Hello? Like, are you in there? Because most people aren't. They're off in the ether. And that's why, like I said, don't have technology in the bedroom, and take some time outside with no technology. Go outside at least 30 minutes to an hour every day, no technology. Go outside with nature. No, don't take your phone and take pictures. Like, literally get away from the phone. Go to and eat a meal without your phone. Leave it in the car and just look at people in the diner. You probably freak them out, but do it, because I want you to be in my Gen X life. I used to get on my bike and just go for hours and disappear as a kid. I have an imagination that never, ever stopped because my mom was this freaking Mary Poppins type person that kept this alive in me. And so I'm so grateful for that. And that she's on my spirit team, of course. So we have an opportunity to be so passionate about life, but we stop. We stop ourselves. Why? Because we're going to look weird. Well, everybody's weird. Dear God, everybody's weird. So fly your, I can't ever say that. Fly your that should be a tongue twister. Fly your freak flag. Thank you. Fly it. Be weird. Be, because this doesn't help. Living like this, I lost my balloon. I lost my little balloon. The balloon. This is what happens. You see somebody that's 200 or 300 pounds, or somebody that's really, really skinny or whatever, like any of those extremes where they're hurting their vessel. This is what you're doing. You're walking around like this. This is my soul. My soul's right here. Because you know what? I could get hurt. So I'm going to keep my soul right here. And you're just walking around like a freaking zombie. You are a zombie because your soul is not here in your heart. And when you start walking around with your heart on your sleeve, you are not going to be hurt. Michael, I'm going to use you example. Michael, when you wear your heart on your sleeve, you will have children's and dogs and cats and people come out of the woodwork just to shake your hand, because you are glowing with that inner child beauty. And that's what I know. That's what I'm saying. But fly that flag. Get out there. Put that out there for people and let them see it. Because that glow is who we are. That passion is who we are. Right? So we've got to get some questions. Come on, let's do some questions.
So if somebody is looking to, how do I phrase this? Okay, so say somebody sees a trauma that they recognize in somebody else. Is that a mirror effect, and so they need to work on themselves, or are they really seeing?
Everybody has trauma. There isn't anybody on earth that doesn't, so get over that. The question you need to ask when you see someone is, are you trying to rescue them? Did you see them like a puppy on the sidewalk? Are you trying to do a Humane Society video here with your relationship? Like, are you collecting strays? And I don't mean that in a mean way. I'm not saying it ugly. But I mean, I went out with a guy that was much younger than me, and he was a meth addict. I didn't know that. But why did I do that? Because I was hurting because my mom just died. And I had, my vibration was, I was even drinking alcohol, which I don't now. I brought that kind of energy around me, and then it got into my space. So the question that I would ask you is, when you get around someone, how's your trauma? How is it like when you see someone, let's say you go on a date with somebody, let's say Michael gets a blind date. Why not? Somebody goes, hey, I think you'll love her. So he goes on a blind date. He walks in the room, he walks to the restaurant, whatever, and you meet each other. What are you leading with? What are you bringing to them? Are you bringing that Robin Williams, let's have fun energy? Are you coming guarded? Are you coming into it going, let's see who she is? And are you gathering evidence? Okay, and I got to tell you the cup story. This is a little funny. Okay, I knew a man. This is a true story. I wish it wasn't. I knew a man in a meetup group. We never dated or anything, but he told me that his mother had this thing about coffee cups, and she always had them upside down because she didn't want roaches or dirt to get in them, and it was much more logical. She had a whole psychology around this cup situation, right? Well, poor guy. he was raised with these cups, right? So he would literally, and he told me this, he would go out with somebody and go into her cabinet and see how she has the cups and dump them if it was not. His thing was, I can't date her. And of course I laugh because I put them the other way around, and the bugs can get in them. And I agreed with him. I totally agree with him. I'm like, you are totally right. And yet I will never, ever do it because I was raised the other way and I just do it root memory. I don't think about it, right? So how many women did he dump because he wouldn't switch over their fucking coffee cups? He's looking for mom. So the thing is, and it's a funny story. And the reason that I use it, and I don't mean to make fun of him, if he hears this, but the fact is this guy set himself up. Okay, I went on a blind date with a man with 2 6-month-old black Great Danes. I had a little schnauzer. We walked around my apartment complex, and before he left, his Great Dane, one of them, had a diarrhea episode in the greenery right below my balcony. He didn't want to date, okay, because he said that these 2 gigantic black Great Danes sleep with him in bed, and that was a deal breaker if you weren't going to go for it. Okay, so that is lying to yourself and saying you're open. He was not open. He was open to the dogs. I mean, the dogs were happy, but so. Do we have, I want to make sure, do we have any questions? I'm a teacher, so let's make sure if there's any questions to answer them. Because there were 2 ladies in the chat earlier, so I just want to make sure if anybody has a direct question.
There's no questions in the chat room right now.
There's who?
There's no questions in the chat room right now.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Well, okay, let's see. Well, what else do you want to know? We can do anything.
I'm curious in your experience with trauma. You say there's always trauma.
There is always trauma. But you can get to where it's a lot less. Okay, I'm gonna tell you about a relationship I started in 2020. It was very unique. I'd been shut down for 3 months, and I met somebody in Sedona, and I was polyamory at the time, and this person was too. And we fell in love, and we didn't mean to, but we did. And for several years, we were very much in love, but he lives very far away, and now we're best of friends. I love him to death. I wish him the best in where he is in a relationship, and there's nothing between us now. But When I met him, the only reason that I believe that we fell in love was both of us were like, oh, this is safe because she lives in California and I don't live here. And, and it allowed us to open up. But then when we opened it up, he's seeing his wings and I healed from my Douglas taking his life. I was there in Sedona. That's where his ashes are. And I was able to do a breathwork session talking to Douglas about that. He goes by Doug now. Whatever. Change your name in heaven, weirdo. Anyway, freak. Anyway, but he loved me unconditionally and I love him unconditionally. And his life circumstances are not to where we can be together. I never thought I could have a relationship like that. But I think it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And we held each other. And one of the most beautiful things, okay, I'm going to tell you two beautiful things that you can do. Because there's a lot of things about like comforting a woman, but there's things you can comfort a man that a lot of women will not do. First of all, a man really wants to lay right here. And even in some cases, if they've never nursed, they maybe actually want to nurse. Like not in a weird, like it might turn physical, sexual after, but a lot of times they want to do that as a connection to Mother Gaia, to the divine feminine, because maybe they didn't get that with their mom. Maybe they're missing that. And that's something that you can do if you're comfortable, right? And another thing is men are uncomfortable with their testicles, with their scrotum. And there's a shame around it. We've done so much to shame the balls that the thing that you learn in Tantra is to be gentle. If you're with somebody and you're with your woman, the man, and make sure they're clean. You're really clean, obviously, and that's one of the things that's important. But if you're holding someone's testicles and you're just gently squeezing them and you're holding them and you're just saying, it's okay. This is okay that you have these. I don't think this is gross. I think your body's beautiful. Because women on the regular say, I love a man's penis, but I hate his scrotum. It's a package deal. You don't get one with the other, okay? So being able to get past this to where we're demonizing the man's body and then putting women's bodies on pedestal, all of that's ridiculous. So as we start to gently and in intimacy, get to know this person. If you go and listen, I've done it 1,000 times. I can tell you for that doesn't work. If you have some passion, you meet somebody and you sleep with them right away. Well, my last relationship with Bruce, we were together for over 3 years and then on and off for 5. We made out in the car right after we met. And so, but that is just NRE. NRE is new relationship energy. And so if you don't set boundaries, boundaries are huge. Okay, I went to a camp where it's a clothing optional camp. It's a hippie camp, right? And one of the first things that I realized from being in a place where you can do anything is I had no emotional boundaries with relationships. Listen, if I was dating you, I would literally carte blanche, just open season to my life, my soul, my everything. I'm just going to turn it over to you like you bought the fucking deed, man. And that's whacked. That is so messed up. But I had to learn that from friends in this community that I had no boundaries because I just wanted to be loved. And I was willing to give up everything just to be loved. Well, that's trauma. So now I understand that you have to take your inner child in hand. You have to love up your inner child, but you also have to make love to your body so that the energy moves through you, or you're always going to be stuck in the past. Your body is an energy center. And if you're not doing anything for these lower chakras, that's why everybody gets heavy in America, because we don't move energy through these chakras. We eat shit food. We drink caffeine and alcohol, and then we stare at the boob tube, right? So I don't even own a TV. I haven't for 5 years. They're worthless. So all I know is there's no way they out there. Love yourself up and be silly. You see, the serious part is the made up part. You sitting there being like, you're playing. That's where you're playing. It's like South Park. I mean, you can't laugh at it, because it's like, right? Allow yourself to realize the absurdity of living life, anything other than like the Robin Williams level of excitement and passion. And I'm not talking, if you're not like me, don't try to be me. But I'm a freaking firefly, and I always have been. But whoever you are, let that light shine. Move it out. Because the more that you open those chakras, the more you're going to start feeling Jesus clean washing your feet. And you're going to feel them touch you, And I don't know, do you see folks? Do you see dead people?
On occasion. On occasion, I do.
Oh, that's cool. I'm kind of jelly. I've had conversations with my spirit guides. No, really, guys, I can see him now. No, I'm not going to freak out. No, seriously. But I don't think they believe me. And I didn't tell you, I learned how to break into Akashic Records with working with 33 kids in a room. And I told them the story about the monkeys. I'm sure you know about the monkeys. What is it, the 34th monkey or?
The 100th monkey.
100th monkey, that's right. Well, so I told them the story about there was bananas in the sand and they buried them, and then eventually a female monkey went and cleaned it off in the ocean, and then she taught the whole tribe. Well, then they went to an island that's, I don't know, 10 miles away, 20 miles away, 100 miles away. It's a different island, same kind of monkeys. The first day, a female monkey goes and grabs it out of the sand, washes the banana off so there's no sand on it. So it proved that there's a collective consciousness for the monkeys that they don't have to relearn that. So those whichever, those monkeys, the ones with neat tails, they already learned that skill. So it became something known, and then they just evolved beyond that. Well, everything that's ever been known, that's how I used to teach. That's why people used to get mad at me too. Because my students connected into the Akashic Records. We would visualize, we would do mindfulness, and we could connect into everything that's known. And my kids would ace tests and got more and more smart. And it wasn't just pulling it, it's bringing that knowledge in and keeping it. And I didn't even know I was doing it. That's how I became the Akashic Records hacker, is teaching kids how to visualize and meditate. So anyone can hack into all of their lives, but I will say this. I think it's a trap. And if to go into too many past lives, and I think you can get down a rabbit hole and never come out. So if you're going to do something with past lives, and I know you agree with me, QHHT is the kind of session that you want to do, because your higher self, you get to talk to your higher self. And for me, the biggest thing is to talk to my higher self. I've done 2 QHHT sessions, and oh my God, just years of worry fell off of me, because I finally what am I supposed to do this? Or what about this? I got to talk directly to my soul. And gosh, it's so refreshing to get it straight from the horse's mouth.
I actually have an interesting question for you.
Yeah.
With dealing with trauma, and trauma aside, so to speak, we always talk about balance of the divine masculine, divine feminine.
Oh, I'm glad.
But I wonder, now, if the true balance is divine feminine, divine masculine, inner child.
Well, I can't say why, but it's discombobulated. Okay, so your inner child is who you are. The real you is your inner child. Okay, that's your soul. That's who you're in this lifetime. Your personality. Yeah. But that's you. Okay, your little 5-year-old. That's really who you are, and you knew that then. So then, as you grow up and you have experiences, that trauma covers up that divine connection that you had at that age, or you already always had it, so it didn't cover that up, but you still have stuff, tentacles and things like that. So as you get older, I did inner male work. This would happen right after Douglas died. About a year after he died, I was working with Kika Marionetti and in a tantra class, and I saw a man that I was attracted to, and I started to get a serious. I started getting panic attacks. I'd see somebody that I was attracted to, and I'd just start panicking. And so I worked with my inner male mirror work, and I even gave myself a ring, and I did this inner work, and my still to this day, my inner male will take me out to eat when I don't feel good. Or take me to go get some vegan cupcakes. So my inner male is balanced because I did all this work after Douglas died, because I got so scared, and all of my life I had women around me. My whole family's women. So I couldn't quit crying. I was this frightened little chicken. Well, my inner male basically came into my inner female and said, "Hey, snap out of it." What the hell are you doing? And just like, and brought me into safety. So if you ever see me get mad, that's my inner male. And people are afraid of me. It's just so funny. I've never been in a fight. People are terrified of me. But when you get to that place to where you've allowed the joy, the energy, the flow to come back through, then you're going to have people be attracted to you. But then you still have to work with trauma, because what if you have somebody attracted to you that's a player, and then they break your heart? Well, then you have to work on that. I met somebody I love very, very much, but he was really toxic, and it took me, I don't know, 8 months, 7 months, something like that, during COVID, to realize that. And he did something like so benign that sounds benign, but it's not. Get this: we're in the car, and we're driving to go see the Redwoods. He starts singing, "Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce. Special orders don't upset us." And he sings this Burger King jingle from the 70s, right? But he sings it over and over the entire time I'm driving over Highway 17, going through these giant mountains to take him to somewhere special, just to fuck with me. That's mean-spirited. That's a broken person, right? And so if someone is ever in your space and you do not feel joyful, just listen to your child. Your child will tell you what you think of somebody the moment you meet them. But we don't listen to their inner child. We defer to the thinking brain that puts them in a certain category. Go with your first instinct. When you see somebody, you go, "Hey, hey, 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 hey." Well, if you can't find that with that person, you can't find their inner child and giggle and come back, then what are you doing? And just go move on, because it takes time to develop it. We've been so scared. Jesus, we've been so scared for so long. We have to stop that. And by the way, I want to channel before we get out of here. I don't know what time it is. How are we doing on time? Terrible.
We have 5 minutes.
Okay, I got channels. Let me channel. Shit. I'm gonna get in trouble. Oh, my spirit guides will give me a little talking to later. Actually, they don't. Oh, let's rub. Hey, genie in the bottle, baby. I'm a genie in the bottle. Ready? Share what you are. Say what a sky. Yeah, what you doing? And they're saying to you, Michael, you should know better. You should be calling the Fed. We're everywhere. They're saying we can teach you dances. We'll go outside. So serious. What are you so serious about? They were laughing. They're so serious. They just said, "What surprise for being the most serious one in the room?"
That's a good question.
Did they give out a prize? The most stoic goes to. When is they said, when's the last time you laughed so hard that you peed your pants?
Oh, probably a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Well, I mean, menopause might happen all the time. So, it's clearing out our heart chakra, and they're trying to remind you that there is this present moment. This present moment is divine. It lasts forever, and there's nothing in this present moment that needs definition. As we move forward, you're choosing love, not fear. That's all you're doing. You're choosing love instead of fear. So as you choose love more, then you call in the faith. They'll come in, and you can do a little dance. And then you can start bringing in the gnomes. That's why the gnomes here. The gnomes. And so honestly, this got to be for you, by the way, because the gnomes hardly ever come through. But they were like, no, we're going to come look at the Lord. I love you. All right, so this energy, this love that's coming bubbling up from our inner child, it's like champagne. It's bubbling. And as we feel that, what releases is that need to blend in. As if anybody could ever blend in at anything, right? So as we let go of this not being unique, blending in, all that, your inner child will start coming out and make it a game. I've been doing this for a long time because I've been crazy, but how on can you be without getting arrested? And go into a cafe and say hello to everybody and then be like, tag, you're in. Like, how much joy can you bring into a room? How much joy do you want? I can't hear you. You want some joy? Joy? I can't hear you.
I don't know if there's a limit to how much joy I can bring to a room.
So, allow these are all codes. Allow the passion that you are passion. Allow the passion to come out. And the biggest reason that we do not open up to all of this is that we're afraid we're not good enough. That is just the matrix. It's ridiculous. But I will tell you this, as you start trimming down, as you go to the gym and you start stepping into this higher version, this higher timeline of who you are, you also need to nurture yourself and not make your old self wrong. Don't look backwards and go, wow. That's what I didn't like about the one lady that was really big, and then she got small. And she's like, oh, I hated me. No, you didn't. You started a whole revelation of large women that felt good in their skin. And then you're going to take that back. Don't do that. Don't should on yourself. Don't go backwards in time and try to should on yourself. That makes a mess, doesn't it? Should everywhere. Woo. So as we lighten up, we realize it's not that hard. And if you like someone, genuinely like someone, try being friends. I know that sucks because Mom used to say it and I was like, fuck you. But honestly, if they're not interested in your life and they don't want to hang out and play checkers with you and get to know you a little bit, then they probably are not really in for it for long haul. So it's nothing personal. It's not that they're wrong or right. It's just what do you want to choose? And we're definitely gonna end with this because we did it the other day. I'm feeling chills. Here we go. You ready? This is a big go in. Inner child go in. You ready? Love this. You ready? Everybody's gonna sing. This is the go in, and it goes like this. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So the go in is row, row, row. Whose boat? Whose boat?
Your
boat. You're not rowing mine, right? You're not gonna come over here and like the volleyball team I was on, the guys kept trying to take our shot, and that's why we came in second. We would have stayed in it. Boy, that was a long time ago. That's 40 years ago. We could have won. Anyway, so that's the weirdest randomness thing. I was in Addison, Texas, and so long ago. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. How do you do it? Merrily, 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 merrily. Why?
Life is but a dream.
What'd you say?
Life is but a dream.
What?
Life is but a dream.
Aha! It's a dream. We made it up. So if it's a dream, it means you get to take things out, put things in, put in your dragons, put in your powerful dolphin energy, put in the possibility of loving the way you actually want to love and not taking a consolation prize, being that person. Yeah. Row your boat gently down the stream because it's a dream. And until you get in your own lane, you're going to suffer. Suffering, the Buddhist got it right. Suffering is not accepting what is. Hello? It is what it is. And there's nothing wrong with it. And you get out of duality. You know how you get out of duality? You realize that it was all bullshit anyway. There's no way you can get out of grace from the person that created you. It's like Play-Doh. Like you fashioned a Play-Doh into a gun, and now the Play-Doh can no longer go back into the Play-Doh thing because it's now a gun. That's as stupid as it is as believing that you could do something to lose God's grace or help. But I will tell you this. Most people walk away from God because they're so terrified of their own power. We are not afraid at all of being a couch potato. We are fine with that. We are terrified of stepping into our power, and then God's going to ask us to do shit. It's like, if I do that means you're going to want me to do this, aren't you? And yes, I will tell you right now, yeah, too much is given. That's a Bible. Too much is given, much is expected. So that means I can heal. There are two women that at that camp that I helped move energy, move spirits out of their body. They were possessed. That's Jesus shit, man. I don't need validation on that. That I'm saying this energy's here. The new earth is now, and you can do it, and so can I. And if I did it, you can do it. And that's where we have to get out of. We have to quit grandstanding and going, look at me. Well, it's not going to be look at me when your next door neighbor, who's a chain smoker, suddenly starts speaking light language and he's psychic. What are you going to do when everybody on the block is now psychic? What are you going to do? So You can't, okay, you can't do this for the money. You got to do it for your divine mission. And I promise you, if you start doing what you're passionate about, let's say that, okay, go back to doodle art. Let's say you do doodle art. You love that. Do that, and spirit will open up something else that will be bigger. Because I believe every star seed and every light worker is going to be the leaders, because meek will inherit the earth. I believe that we will be the ones that set up the communities, the communal communities, and teach people how to love. I believe that with all my heart and soul. I really do. And you one of them. Can't get out now.
Yeah.
You signed that little agreement.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing everything and all sharing your knowledge. What's the best way people can get a hold of you?
I'm on YouTube, Rita Minster, aka Extremely Radiant, and I'm also on Facebook. And I don't have 5,000 friends yet, so you can friend me. And if you want a private session, you can send it to my PayPal account, which is extremely_radiant@yahoo.com. And I'm doing a special $44 an hour for anyone that wants to work, and we can do anything. I can activate you. We can work on trauma. It's pretty much anything that you want to do. And I have a money back guarantee too. So if you're like, you're not worth $44, I'll give it back. It ain't about money. It's about activating your divine power, because our DNA is changing. Did you see the sun today? Did you see it? It's like, wow, it's white now. And it's got this big aura around it. It's like, it's a miracle to be here at this time. But I will say this, because I don't want everyone to think I'm all freaking Pollyanna all the time. I was in tears last night paying my bills, and in a lot of fear and a lot of worry, because this matrix, it ain't playing. We are in a very, very important time. So allow yourself the grace to take a nap. Allow yourself to step out of the fray. Don't go to a protest if it's going to break your heart. Don't go to that, that place where the cows are being abused if it's going to break your heart. Protect your soul, because that's all you got.
Yes, thank you. And thank you to everyone who watched and will watch. And so I will end it with my heart and the heart of my show to you. Thank you for what you're doing for humanity.
Thank you. Ooh, definitely feel that. Isn't it incredible? We get to do this. We get to talk about this, and people are not throwing us in the mental ward anymore. Yay.
Well, thank you all for this premiere episode and tuning in, and stay tuned for more episodes to come.
Definitely. We'll definitely do this again. And yeah, let's definitely get creative. I'll get on your short list.
And with that, we'll say good night, everyone.
Namaste, y'all. Love and blessings. Bye.